Hi everyone, welcome back to another 5-Minute CSS Friday. This week I'm going to talk to you about one of the keywords in CSS, and that's Revert, as well as a new CSS keyword for Cascade layers called Revert-Layer. So what does it mean to use the keyword revert in CSS? Well, revert means that we are going to be reverting or rolling back a property's cascaded value to the user's custom style, if one exists. Otherwise, roll it back to the user agent's default style. So what this definition is doing is it's enumerating cascade origins. Revert essentially rolls back a cascade origin. And if we look at the diagram that we looked at last week on cascade origins and how they relate to layers, you can see here that we have 3 cascade origins. Now, this is from the blog post that I promised to write, which is on developer.chrome.com about cascade layers, and I'll link that in the show notes. But essentially, we have 3 cascade origins. That's the user agent, which is a browser like Chrome or Safari or Firefox that gives a default style for what a component should look like. Then you also have your local user styles. So that is going to be something that a user opens up their browser and wants to specify their own style sheet. Maybe that'll be for some overrides or accessibility needs. And then we have site author styles. So that is when you land on a web page, the CSS and styles that the author is sending to you for what you're seeing on the page. So the way that they work in the cascade is, you can see in this diagram, we have the user agent normal styles, then we have the local users normal styles, then the site's normal styles, and then we invert those with important. So then we get site important, local important, and user agent important. And then within that video last week, I was explaining how the layered styles now interact within the rest of the cascade. So layers in the cascade exist within the author origin. So those aren't going to be something that we're reverting back to when we are using the revert keyword. So I'll show you what that looks like here. We have this UI with links and with colors on the links using layered styles. Now I go over this a little bit more, actually completely, in my first video on cascade layers. So if you don't know what you're looking at here, definitely check that out. So we have this link here with a class of pink, and we are giving it a color of hot pink on the highest precedence layer and giving it that class of pink. So on the layer before it, the class of pink is giving it a color of light pink. And if we didn't have this, if I commented out, you can see that it's getting that light pink style. So this is kind of what would happen if we had to revert a single layer. Now, if we use the revert keyword as it stands, it's going to look blue. And that's because the previous origin to this, since I don't have any site local user styles, the user agent is setting the links to be blue. So that's why it appears blue with revert. But if I use revert layer, it's actually going to be light pink. Now, if I removed the pink class from here, because right now the pink class has a higher specificity selector than just the A tag, if I deleted that, then you would see that this is now getting the color green. Even if I pasted this in this first layer, the layer base, it's still getting the color green because the precedence of the typography layer will always win over even the specificity of the selector in a lower layer. And that's why this now looks green, because it's looking to the previous layer. It's reverting the styles to the previous layer and appearing green. So I could do this again. I could revert layer here, and this would now make it light pink again. So we've kind of gone up the chain and gotten it back to light pink. So I hope that cleared up what revert means in CSS as a keyword, and that you can now use revert layer with cascade layers as another option for controlling and managing your CSS styles. That's all today. It's a short one. Bye.